At first glance, a bullet looks simple, just a small piece of metal. But, behind its neat form lies a world of incredible innovation and engineering. A modern bullet is really the end result of a factory process that blends chemistry, physics, and precise machinery. Every detail, down to the smallest groove, is the outcome of careful planning and testing. The next time you hold a cartridge, just consider what it took to make it. It's actually a miniature machine, built to do a very specific job. This simple object needs to be strong enough to handle tremendous pressure and accurate enough to deliver performance shot after shot. The journey from raw material to finished round is much more involved than most people realize. Inside a modern ammunition factory, machines run day and night, transforming reels of metal and buckets of powder into the bullets and shells used by millions, whether for sport, security, or military use. Each round is a product of countless steps and skilled workers. The process is a blend of old methods and cutting-edge technology. Understanding how bullets are made helps us appreciate the engineering that goes into each round. So let's step inside the factory and follow the journey from raw material to final inspection. Every cartridge starts with a simple ingredient: brass. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc, chosen for its strength, resistance to corrosion, and reliability. Factories receive huge coils of brass sheet, sometimes weighing several tons. These coils are, honestly, the lifeblood of the operation, waiting to be transformed into cartridge cases. The first step is to unroll the brass and feed it into a punch press. This machine stamps out small, circular blanks from the flat sheet, kind of like a giant cookie cutter. Each blank will become a single cartridge case. The process is loud and fast, with thousands of blanks produced every hour. Once cut, these brass discs move down the line to the next station. Here, each blank is pressed into a shallow cup shape. This transformation is quick, but it's essential. The cup is the basic form that will eventually hold gunpowder, a primer, and the bullet itself. Making sure each blank is consistent is critical. Any tiny flaw or difference in thickness could lead to a dangerous malfunction later on. That's why the process is so carefully controlled from the very start. With the cup-shaped blanks in hand, it's time for deep drawing. This is where the brass is stretched and shaped into a long, thin-walled tube, the familiar shape of a cartridge case. Deep drawing uses a series of powerful presses and dies to gradually pull and form each cup step by step. The cartridge case must have precise dimensions. If it's too thick, it won't fit in the chamber. Too thin, and it could burst under pressure. The press applies hundreds of tons of force, but the dies must be perfectly smooth to avoid tearing or weakening the brass. Each station in the deep drawing line shapes the brass a little more, building the case's final profile. The rim, which helps the case sit properly in the firearm, is also formed during deep drawing. At the same time, the open end is left slightly longer than needed, so it can be trimmed to the exact length later. Every case is measured by a sensor as it moves from station to station, catching any that fall outside the strict tolerances. This stage is all about precision and consistency. Factories may produce millions of cases a month, but every single one has to be just right. It is honestly an impressive sight to watch brass transform from a shapeless cup to a perfectly formed cartridge case. After deep drawing, the brass has been worked hard. The metal is now stiff and could crack if fired as is. To fix this, the cases are annealed. Annealing means heating the metal to a specific temperature, then letting it cool slowly. This restores flexibility to the brass, making it strong yet less likely to split under pressure. The annealing process is fully automated. Cases ride along a conveyor belt through high-temperature ovens. The neck and shoulder, the thinnest parts, often get a slight discoloration from the heat. This isn't a flaw, it's actually a sign the brass has been properly softened. Once annealed, cases go through automated inspection. High-speed cameras and sensors check each one for dents, scratches, cracks, and thickness. Defective cases are instantly kicked off the line. The machines are so sensitive, they can spot a defect smaller than a human hair. This level of quality control is necessary for safety. One bad case could mean a misfire or worse. That's why modern factories use the latest technology to keep every case up to standard. While cases are being made, another part of the factory is, busy building projectiles, the actual bullets. Most bullets start as a core of soft lead. Lead is heavy and dense, which really helps the bullet fly straight and hit hard. But plain lead is just too soft for most modern firearms, so it gets a protective jacket. Making the jacket starts with a thin strip of copper or a copper alloy. Just like the cases, these strips are punched into small cups, then drawn into shape. The lead core is placed inside each jacket. Then, the open end is either closed or left open, depending on the bullet design. Hollow points, for example, are left open at the tip for controlled expansion. Projectiles are made to extremely tight tolerances. They're weighed, measured, and visually inspected. Some bullets are even given special coatings for better accuracy or less fouling in the barrel. Specialized machines handle hundreds of bullets per minute. The finished projectiles are now ready for loading. Each one is a tiny work of engineering, designed to perform in a split second when fired. With cases and bullets ready, it's time for assembly. This is where gunpowder, primer, case, and projectile all meet to become a complete cartridge. The process is highly automated but closely monitored by trained technicians. First, a measured amount of gunpowder is dispensed into each case. Too little powder and the round won't fire correctly. Too much, and it could be dangerous. Next, the bullet is seated on top of the case. Machines push it into place with just the right amount of pressure. Some cartridges are crimped at the case mouth, which helps hold the bullet securely and improves feeding in firearms. Primers, small metal caps filled with a sensitive explosive, are pressed into the base of the case. They ignite the powder when struck. The entire process is designed for safety, with shields and sensors everywhere. Each completed round is weighed and checked by machine. If a cartridge doesn't meet the exact standards, it's removed automatically. The goal is absolute consistency, round after round. Unlike rifle and pistol cartridges, shotgun shells use a mix of materials. The main body is made from strong plastic, while the base is typically brass or steel. Making a shotgun shell starts with forming a plastic tube, usually by extrusion. This tube is then cut to length and fitted with a metal base. Instead of a solid bullet, shotgun shells are filled with either pellets, also called shot, or a single slug. Pellets are made from lead or steel and poured into the shell in really precise amounts. A wad, usually plastic, sits between the powder and the shot, acting as a barrier and helping to keep the pellets together as they leave the barrel. Primers are added in much the same way as metallic cartridges. The top of the shell is folded and crimped shut, holding everything securely inside. The process is fast and efficient, turning out thousands of shells per hour. Shotgun shells come in many sizes and styles, each designed for a different purpose, from hunting birds to home defense. Shotgun shells are sized by gauge, not caliber. This is a throwback to an old system. The gauge number tells you how many lead balls, each the size of the barrel, it would take to weigh 1 pound. For example, a 12-gauge shotgun uses a shell where 12 lead balls of barrel diameter make a pound. This system dates back centuries, and it's unique to shotguns. Smaller gauge numbers mean larger barrels, so a 12-gauge is bigger than a 20-gauge. The only exception is the .410 bore, which is measured in inches, not gauge. This bit of history is still part of modern ammunition factories. Every shell must be made to the exact dimensions, or it won't fit or fire safely. Before any ammunition leaves the factory, it goes through a final round of inspections. Automated machines double-check the weight, size, and even the amount of powder inside each round. Some cartridges are fired in test ranges to make sure they perform as expected. Once a batch passes inspection, it's packed into boxes, sometimes by machine, sometimes by hand. Each box is labeled by caliber, lot number, and date. Pallets of ammunition are wrapped and loaded onto trucks, ready for shipment around the world. Ammunition factories supply hunters, police, military, and sport shooters in almost every country. Their strict controls mean that every round, no matter where it ends up, is built to the same high standards. Making ammunition is a blend of mass production and extreme precision. Factories may turn out millions of rounds each month, but every single cartridge is measured and checked. The materials, brass, lead, copper, plastic, are chosen for their unique qualities and performance. It takes the work of chemists, engineers, and skilled workers to keep the machines running and the products safe. The process never stands still. New designs, better materials, and improved safety checks are always being developed. Next time you see a simple bullet, remember the journey it made, from brass coil to the final box on a store shelf. It's a story of science, industry, and attention to detail at every step. That's the inside story of ammunition manufacturing, a process that's as impressive as the products themselves.